A couple of years back, when I was in grade 9, we were talking about ethnicity in class. And the question was put out to us, what's your background? So kids started raising their hands, offering up their backgrounds, and I decided to join in and raise my hand. And as soon as I did that, I watched as the 3 others at my table all immediately turned to look at me, one quickly seizing the moment to ask, "Yeah, what are you?" I was taken aback at first, to say the least. I didn't quite know how to respond. It was the "what are you" that got me. It was in the way she said it, like our relationship as desk partners was coming to a head that depended solely on my answer to this one question. It was in the way she made me feel like I was less human than her. I learned 2 things that day. One, I apparently looked Puerto Rican as she proceeded to answer her own question for me. And 2, we still have a ways to go in acknowledging and accepting diversity. And now Canada is a hugely diverse country, and we're seen as a leader in inclusion, especially when compared to other countries and other periods in history. However, no one place is perfect, and Canada has its shortcomings just as any other country does. And where this really comes to a pivotal point is in our representation of diversity. So, where do young people get their outlooks on the world? Movies, TV shows, Netflix. And there are some amazing individuals in the entertainment industry repping their diversity. But as an American study conducted in 2016 by USC Annenberg shows us, as a whole, movies and TV shows aren't offering better representation. Women fill only 28.7% of all speaking roles in film. In real life, women make up 50.8% of the population. People of color fill only 28.3% of all speaking roles in film. In real life, people of color make up 37.9% of the population. Only 2% of speaking characters identified as lesbian, gay, or bisexual. Less than 1% identified as transgender. And of all these LGBTQ+ characters, 72% were male, 79% were white, and less than a quarter were shown as parents or caregivers. And we see this same trend prevail in books, as a study conducted in 2013 by the Cooperative Children's Book Center shows us. Only a dismal 5.27% of all children and young adult novels featured people of color as the protagonist. So, what is the issue with all of this? It's that a knowledge gap is created. When we don't see diversity, we don't know or understand much about it. And when we have that gap in our understanding, we tend to fill it with this. Pervasive and sometimes unintended stereotypes. Misconceptions. And disrespect. That gap is why growing up, I was once asked what country I was bought from, when me and my dark-skinned sister were out with my white mom. I was often asked if I was adopted, to the point where I actually believed that I was, and that my mom was just waiting until I turned 16 or something to tell me. Biraciality and interracial relationships and families are just one of the many identities that we don't see represented much. And I am not the only one who developed false and damaging beliefs about my own identity from the inauthentic or non-existent representation I was shown. Now, our society is far from perfect, but we aren't completely hopeless at representation. Social media, for all of its negatives, can be an amazing community builder, and sites like Tumblr and Instagram help to connect people to others like them. We see new films like Black Panther and Moana that are increasing representation for people of color, and Love, Simon and RuPaul's Drag Race that are providing representation for the LGBTQ+ community. Forrest Gump and even Finding Nemo are providing representation for individuals with physical and mental disabilities. And something truly wonderful happens when queer kids walk into a theater and see someone like them on the big screen, or when kids of color read a book with someone like them, the hero. Our hearts race, our paces quicken, and the biggest grins consume our faces. We get excited. It's like when a dog is out for a walk and sees another dog down the street. Just pure excitement. Because all too often, our stories are dictated to us. And all too often, they follow a pattern of stereotypes and cycles of the way things have always been. Growing up a girl, I thought an integral part of my identity was to like guys. It took seeing gay women in my teens for me to realize that that was not my story. And it took finally seeing strong, queer women of color for me to come out to my friends and my family. Because seeing something different than the story you've always been told does something more amazing than excite. It empowers. And empowered youth are driven youth, are purposeful youth, are innovative youth. And the more people we have who are proud and unafraid of who they are, the more the whole of our society begins to change. Others are exposed to more stories, and dialogue and understanding can be opened. And thus begins the process of greater inclusion and acceptance. But in a world of 7.6 billion people, it's gonna take a group effort. It's gonna take being open to new ideas, asking questions, and consciously changing our thinking to break free from the single story we have been told. It's gonna take things like Humans of Rutland blogs that showcase diversity in our communities. And it's gonna take inclusion in all facets of our society to allow minorities to take charge of telling their own stories. And it's gonna take being real with ourselves, to give ourselves permission to embrace all the little bits that make us the way we are. It's gonna take being visible and proud in our diversity, because there's power in you to give. Because somewhere out there is someone trying to figure out their own story. And seeing courage in another can be the thing that gives us the courage to be seen. Thank you.